Welcome to another episode of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. In this episode, we're going to be discussing a side effect related to a particular anti-motion sickness drug called scopoderm or scopolamine. Keep watching. Motion sickness unfortunately affects some people far more than others. And depending on how severely you're affected, you either need no treatment or very mild treatment, or you can take something the night before that helps you the next day, or as in this case, you can use what is called the scopolamine patch. Now they're harder to get nowadays, but you still do. And traditionally, what is done is the skin behind the ear is cleaned, and then the scopolamine patch, which is literally like a round plaster, is then stuck to the skin, and it can stay there for 3 days, after which it's removed and can be replaced with one on the other side. And you can carry on with that for about 2 weeks. Now, one of the problems of scopolamine is that it is related to atropine. And atropine, or deadly nightshade, is also known as belladonna. Now, for those of you that don't know Italian, belladonna means pretty girl. And the reason for that was, in years gone by, women used to deliberately put atropine in their eyes to widen their pupils so that they would look more attractive or alluring to the gentleman. Now, scopolamine can have that very same effect, and it has it in one of two ways. It is possible simply transdermally for the absorption of scopolamine to eventually get to the pupil of the eye, or the innervation of the pupil of the eye, and cause a dilation. So it's not always because of physical contact with the eye, although the warning is that once you've applied the scopolamine patch, you need to make sure that you wash your hands very, very well, and as far as possible, don't rub your eyes. And then after 3 days, you change sides and move the scopolamine patch to the other side. So if you do need to use the scopolamine patch, take those precautions. Otherwise, consider Phenergan, which is 25 milligrams tablets that you take. They're very sedating, but the idea is you take them the night before, or while you have 8 hours prior to your exposure to the underwater environment, or where you might have motion sickness, and then you sleep off the drowsy or the sedating part, but you still have the benefit of the anti-motion sickness effects. And consider wristbands. Wristbands are also around, either electronic ones or pressure ones, and believe it or not, there is science backing the fact that they actually do work. So consider what works for you, but to answer the question, yes, scopolamine can cause a unilateral dilated pupil, or both sides, and it has other side effects such as ataxia and other hallucinations and interferences with the psyche. So you want to have them at least 24 hours in place before you take them underwater. And then of course check that you don't lose them, but they usually stay on pretty well. I hope that's answered your question, and until next time, safe diving.